Have you ever wondered why certain songs move you to tears, while others can lift you instantly into joy, or even send chills through your entire body? What if I told you? Sound itself is not just a vibration you hear, but the very force that shapes reality. Long before modern science spoke of frequency and resonance, the ancient mystics already knew that the universe was sung into existence. Across temples, pyramids, and sacred texts, a secret truth echoed through the ages. Everything that exists, from the beating of your heart to the rotation of galaxies, vibrates to a hidden cosmic rhythm. They called it the music of the spheres, the divine harmony that holds creation together. In every tradition, this mystery appears under different names. In Egypt, it was the word of Thoth, the sound that gave birth to form. In the Vedas, it was the primordial Om, the eternal vibration from which all arose. And in the Gospel of John, it was written simply, "In the beginning was the Word." But what did these sages really mean? What is this word that speaks the universe into being? And more importantly, how can we use this forgotten knowledge to change the frequencies of our own lives? Because if reality is vibration, then every thought, emotion, and word you speak is shaping your world right now. Imagine if you could tune your mind like an instrument to resonate with clarity, peace, and creation itself. What would your life look like if you could consciously direct your frequency, the same way a musician commands a symphony? This video will take you deep into the hidden science and ancient mysticism of sound and vibration, how sound creates matter, how energy becomes form, and how the ancient masters used resonance to awaken consciousness. We'll explore what sacred geometry, frequency, and the power of intention reveal about the true nature of existence. And finally, we'll uncover how you can use these ancient principles to transform your own energy and harmonize with the symphony of the universe itself. Because once you understand this truth, you'll never hear the world the same way again. To understand the hidden power of sound and vibration, we must journey far back, beyond the noise of modern life, into the temples, mystery schools, and sacred chambers of the ancient world, where sound was not entertainment, it was creation itself. In ancient Egypt, the priests of Thoth were said to possess the knowledge of Heka, the vibrational magic through which reality could be shaped by sound and word. They believed that every tone carried an intention, and every intention carried a frequency capable of influencing matter. When they spoke, they didn't just communicate, they created. The walls of their temples were built with perfect acoustic precision. Certain chambers inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, like the King's Chamber, were designed to resonate at specific frequencies. When priests or initiates chanted within them, the vibration amplified, altering their state of consciousness and synchronizing their energy with the geometry of the stone itself. This wasn't primitive superstition. Modern studies have shown that the King's Chamber resonates at approximately 440 Hz, a frequency remarkably close to the natural resonant tone of the human body. The ancients didn't just build monuments, they built instruments of transformation. Meanwhile, across the East, the sages of India described reality in musical terms. They spoke of Nada Brahma, the universe is sound. In their vision, everything that exists is the manifestation of a single eternal vibration, the Om. It was not a word, but a frequency, the pulse of divine consciousness echoing through the fabric of time and space. When a yogi chants Om, they aren't repeating a syllable. They are aligning their inner vibration with the heartbeat of creation itself. And in the high plateaus of Tibet, monks developed a similar understanding. Through deep harmonic chanting, they could produce 2 or even 3 tones simultaneously, an auditory mirror of the multidimensional nature of reality. To them, sound was not symbolic, it was sacred technology, a bridge between body and spirit. Even the Greek philosophers whose legacy shaped the Western world were not ignorant of this secret. Pythagoras, the father of mathematics and music theory, taught that numbers were not abstractions. They were living frequencies. He revealed that the ratios of harmony in music, the octave, the fifth, the third, were reflections of cosmic order itself. He called this the music of the spheres, a divine symphony played by the movement of the planets. For Pythagoras and his initiates, to understand harmony was to understand the mind of God. But somewhere along the line, this sacred science was lost, or perhaps hidden. As humanity turned its focus outward toward material progress, we forgot that sound and vibration were not external forces, but expressions of consciousness. We began to hear sound, but not to listen. What was once known as divine resonance became reduced to decibels and waveforms, yet the mystery never truly vanished. It simply fell silent, waiting for us to remember. Today, quantum physics and cymatics are rediscovering what the ancients always knew: vibration shapes form. When sound frequencies pass through sand or water, they create precise geometric patterns, perfect symmetry born from invisible motion. These are the modern echoes of the truth Thoth, Pythagoras, and the Vedic sages proclaimed. The universe is not built, it is sung. If everything in the universe vibrates, then nothing is truly still, not even you. Your thoughts, emotions, heartbeat, even the atoms composing your body, all of them are frequencies woven into an immense, unseen symphony. Modern science has finally begun to confirm what ancient mystics declared thousands of years ago. Matter is not solid, it's sound made visible. The dance between sound and form. In the 20th century, a scientist named Hans Jenny conducted a series of experiments known as cymatics. He placed fine powders and liquids on metal plates, then vibrated them with specific sound frequencies. To his astonishment, the particles didn't move chaotically. They formed intricate geometric patterns, circles, triangles, mandalas, and symbols resembling those found in ancient temples began to emerge. When the frequency changed, the pattern changed, proving that sound shapes matter. This means that every physical structure, from the spiral of galaxies to the helix of DNA, may be the visible echo of an invisible vibration. The ancients didn't need microscopes or oscilloscopes to know this. They experienced it directly. They felt the hum of the earth, the resonance of the stars, the song of creation flowing through them. When the Egyptians spoke of Heka, when the Hindus chanted Om, when Pythagoras plucked the strings of his lyre, they were all tapping into the same cosmic principle. That frequency is form. The law of resonance is one of the most mysterious yet universal forces in existence. It's the invisible bridge that connects all things through vibration. When two frequencies match, or come into harmony, they begin to influence one another. A tuning fork vibrating at 432 Hz, for instance, can cause another nearby fork of the same pitch to begin vibrating on its own, simply by proximity. This is resonance, the transfer of energy through frequency alignment. Now imagine this principle not applied to metal forks, but to human consciousness. When your thoughts and emotions vibrate at certain frequencies, fear, love, gratitude, peace, they attract and amplify similar vibrations in the field around you. Your reality, quite literally, tunes itself to your internal resonance. This is why ancient texts often describe the power of the spoken word, mantra, or prayer as creative tools. Words are not empty sounds. They are vibrations encoded with intention. Every word you speak carries the frequency of your consciousness. And just as cymatic patterns shift with sound, your life patterns shift with thought and emotion. The frequency of consciousness. The human body itself is a finely tuned instrument of vibration. Each organ, cell, and gland emits its own electromagnetic tone, forming a living symphony of frequencies. At the center of this orchestra lies the heart, which produces the most powerful rhythmic field in the body, one that can extend several feet beyond the skin. The heart's frequency synchronizes the body's systems and even influences those nearby, a phenomenon now documented by science as heart coherence. The ancients knew this intuitively. They spoke of the heart as the seat of the soul, the resonant chamber through which divine vibration becomes emotion, thought, and creation. When the mind, heart, and voice are in harmony, your vibration becomes coherent, and coherence in energetic terms is power. It's what allows a sage to calm a storm with a single chant, or a healer to shift another's energy field through sound alone. The power, hidden in your voice. Your voice is the most accessible and potent vibrational tool you possess. When you speak words of anger, resentment, or fear, you emit discordant frequencies that ripple through your environment and body alike. But when you speak from clarity, love, or reverence, the sound reorganizes the field around you into harmony. This is why many spiritual traditions emphasize chanting, mantra, and prayer. These aren't rituals of superstition. They are ancient technologies of resonance. Every repetition aligns your breath, voice, and energy into a single, focused vibration. The more consistent the frequency, the stronger the resonance. And when your inner vibration matches the frequency of what you seek, whether peace, abundance, or higher consciousness, reality begins to vibrate in unison. You don't force change, you tune to it. Sound, then, is not merely heard, it is felt. It shapes emotion, space, and matter alike. And when you realize that you are both instrument and musician, you begin to play the song of your life with intention rather than chance. In every temple, pyramid, and sacred cave of the ancient world, a single mystery hums beneath the silence. Sound as a doorway between worlds. The ancients understood that vibration is not merely a force, it's a language. A universal code through which consciousness communicates with matter. And the more harmonically refined that vibration, the closer it comes to light itself. Let's go deeper into what they knew and why it was hidden. The lost science of sonic architecture. Across the ancient world, we find structures that defy modern engineering. Massive stones weighing hundreds of tons, fitted so precisely that not even a sheet of paper could pass between them. How were they moved? How were they shaped? Modern speculation gives us crude explanations of brute labor, but many initiates, mystics, and researchers believe another possibility. Sound levitation. Tibetan monks have long been rumored to use sacred horns, drums, and chants to move stones. Witnesses in the early 20th century described monastic rituals in which sonic vibrations were directed toward large boulders, causing them to lift, float, and settle into place. The principle behind this is not fantasy. It's resonance. When an object vibrates at a frequency that matches its natural resonance, it becomes lighter, less bound by gravity. It's the same principle that shatters glass when struck by a singer's high note. The vibration exceeds the structure's stability, and it yields to the frequency. Now imagine that applied to stone, or even space-time itself. The temples and pyramids of the ancient world may not have been built to worship gods, but to harness the power of vibration. Their chambers were designed as resonant cavities, amplifying frequencies that could shift perception, consciousness, and perhaps even physical reality. The Great Pyramid, for instance, aligns with the harmonic proportions of Earth and the golden ratio. Its inner chambers resonate at frequencies that correspond to human brainwave states, theta and alpha, the gateways between waking and transcendence. The structure, in essence, is an instrument, tuned to the frequency of the cosmos. The geometry of sound. Sound and geometry are inseparable. Every vibration produces form, and every form, in turn, has its own frequency. This is the secret of sacred geometry. The flower of life, Metatron's cube, and the Platonic solids are not mere symbols. They are visual representations of sound in motion. When frequencies interact, they generate patterns of standing waves, a frozen snapshot of vibration, much like the cymatic shapes created by sound on sand or water. These patterns are not random. They are harmonic blueprints for the creation of everything from atoms to galaxies. In this sense, the entire universe is a grand symphony, a crystalline song frozen into geometry. Every star, every cell, every thought is a note in that infinite composition. The ancients expressed this truth through art, architecture, and chant. The mandalas of Tibet, the yantras of India, the spiral carvings of the Celts, All are visual hymns to the frequencies of creation. They are the geometry of sound, captured in sacred stillness. The hidden power of the word. This is why every ancient culture revered the word. The Egyptians called it the creative utterance of Thoth, the Hindus, the Nada Brahma, the Hebrews, the Logos. They understood that to speak is to vibrate reality. Every thought and every syllable has frequency, and frequency becomes form. This is the deeper meaning behind the phrase, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." The word is not a literal sound. It is the vibration of divine consciousness projecting itself into existence. You do the same each time you speak, think, or feel. Your inner voice shapes the outer world. This is why spells, mantras, and affirmations are so potent. The word spell itself comes from the act of spelling, arranging sound and intention to create form. When words are spoken with awareness, they become vibrational commands, echoes of creation itself. The music of the soul. The great mystics knew that the human being is not a passive receiver of vibration. We are transmitters. Your emotions are frequencies. Your thoughts are waves. Your soul is a tone in the universal scale. When you live in fear, anger, or chaos, your inner music becomes dissonant. When you live in harmony, truth, and love, your vibration aligns with higher frequencies, those of the cosmos, the divine, and the collective consciousness. The goal of spiritual practice, then, is not escape. It's tuning. Like an instrument, you must keep refining, aligning, and purifying your resonance until you vibrate in perfect harmony with the universe. Because when you reach that state, you don't just hear the music of the spheres, you become it. The ancient sages never intended sound to remain only a mystery. They meant it to be used, to awaken, to heal, to align the self with the pulse of creation. Sound is not passive. It is an instrument of transformation. And you are both the instrument and the player. Below are the first practical steps to begin working with the hidden power of sound and vibration. Techniques drawn from ancient traditions and verified by modern science. 1. The art of conscious listening. Before you can command vibration, you must first learn to listen. Truly listen. Not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Sit in stillness. Close your eyes. Let every sound around you, the wind, the hum of electricity, your own breathing, become part of one vast symphony. Don't label or judge the sounds. Feel them as living vibrations moving through you. This exercise opens what mystics call the inner ear, attuning your awareness to subtle frequencies. When you begin to hear beyond words, when silence itself becomes a sound, you are entering the true domain of vibration. 2. The power of the voice. Your voice is the most immediate and potent vibrational tool you possess. Every tone you emit reorganizes the field of energy around you. Try this ancient practice. Sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and hum gently, letting the sound vibrate in your chest. Focus on the feeling, not the sound. Now shift the hum upward, to your throat, your face, the crown of your head. Notice how each pitch resonates in a different part of your body. You are awakening vocal resonance, the awareness that your body is a cathedral of vibration. When monks chant, when yogis recite mantras, when shamans sing their healing songs, this is what they are doing, shaping reality with frequency. You can do the same. Choose words or tones that uplift your state. Speak consciously. Every sound you make is a ripple in the field of creation. 3. The frequency of the heart. Ancient mystics taught that the heart is the true tuning fork of the soul. When its vibration is coherent, filled with gratitude, love, and serenity, the entire body harmonizes. To cultivate this state, place your hand on your heart and breathe deeply. Imagine golden light pulsing within it, expanding with each breath. Now, let out a gentle "ah," the universal sound of release, while holding the feeling of love or peace. Repeat it rhythmically, letting sound and feeling merge. This practice synchronizes the electromagnetic rhythm of the heart with the vibrational field of the earth itself, a state modern science calls heart coherence, and ancient mystics called divine alignment. 4. Frequency meditation. Sound is not only heard, it can be seen and felt. Use pure tones such as 432 Hz, 528 Hz, or other solfeggio frequencies during meditation. These tones correspond to mathematical ratios found in sacred geometry, the same patterns seen in nature, DNA, and planetary orbits. As you listen, visualize each tone as a wave of light moving through your body, clearing, balancing, and recharging every cell. With time, your energy field will begin to hum in unison with these harmonics. You may even experience subtle visions, sensations, or moments of deep stillness, signs that you are tuning into the universal frequency of life. 5. The practice of vibrational alignment. Sound alone is powerful, but when joined with intention, it becomes creation itself. Before speaking, chanting, or meditating, set a clear intention. Ask yourself, what frequency am I choosing to embody right now? Then, let your breath, voice, and awareness move in harmony with that intention. When your thoughts, emotions, and sound align, your energy becomes a single, coherent vibration, one that can heal, attract, or transform anything it touches. Sound, at its highest level, is not something you do, it's something you become. When you vibrate in harmony with love, truth, and awareness, you are no longer a seeker of divine sound. You are its instrument. In the beginning, there was not silence. There was sound, a vibration so pure, so radiant that it split the void and gave birth to light itself. Every galaxy, every star, every heartbeat still echoes that first tone. The unstruck sound, as the Vedas called it. The eternal resonance of creation. And though eons have passed, that vibration has never stopped. It flows through you right now as breath, as thought, as life itself. The forgotten music. You were never separate from this cosmic song. You simply forgot you were a note within it. Every fear, every doubt, every distraction from the outer world dulls your frequency, pulling you away from your true resonance. But the moment you remember, the moment you listen inwardly, you begin to tune back in. You begin to hear what sages, mystics, and prophets tried to describe through chant and prayer. That the entire universe is not made of things, but of sound. The ancients knew this. They built temples not just of stone, but of frequency. They spoke mantras not just to please the gods, but to align with them. They understood that creation is not random. It is musical. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, every breath you take adds a note to the great symphony of existence. The choice of vibration. You are vibrating, whether consciously or not. The only question is, what melody are you playing? You can choose to resonate with fear, anger, and chaos, and the world around you will reflect that dissonance. Or you can choose harmony, love, and awareness, and reality will rearrange itself to match your tune. The shift begins not in temples or rituals, but within, in the space between your heartbeat and your breath. That is where the true sacred sound lives, the final tone. So tonight, when the world grows quiet, close your eyes and listen. Beneath the hum of existence, there is a deeper rhythm, steady, ancient, alive. That is the sound of you, not the body, not the name, not the story, but the eternal vibration that existed before you were born and will remain long after. And when you finally hear it, truly hear it, you'll understand that enlightenment isn't found through escape, but through resonance. Because the universe doesn't speak in words, it sings.